Chance stared down at the faded, crinkled picture and wondered for the 100th time if he'd made the biggest mistake of his life. He'd thought when he left that he was doing the right thing, but now, years later, he still wondered. "Is that your woman?" Chance looked up to see his friend and bunkmate Israel leaning over the side of the top bunk and indicating the picture. "She was at one time, years ago." Israel's head disappeared and was replaced moments later by his legs. Then a soft thump sounded as he jumped to the floor and sat on the bottom bunk, next to Chance. "She is pretty. What happened?" Chance exhaled a sigh that carried the weight of the world in it. "I got scared, mainly. We were high school sweethearts, and we had big plans to conquer the world together, you know?" Israel nodded, and the empathy was evident in his chocolate brown eyes. He might not understand Chance's exact issue, but he clearly had some demons in his past as well. "Anyway," Chance shook his head as the memories came flooding back. "Just before graduation, my father announced that not only was he having an affair, that he was divorcing my mother. They'd been together for 30 years. How do you decide to leave someone after 30 years? "Midlife crisis?" Israel offered with a shrug. "Maybe, but it rocked my world. Suddenly, I was no longer sure about love or Mary Beth. I mean, if my parents couldn't make it, then how could I? Plus, there was this burning desire to get away from him. So I broke it off with her after graduation and then joined the military. I guess I hoped the structure would distract me and the excitement of travel would make me forget what I was leaving behind. Most days, it works, but..." He let the sentence trail off. "But not out here when there is so much time to think, right?" Chance lifted his shoulder in another shrug. He knew Israel would understand. "Have you reached out to her?" Chance rolled his eyes. "Dude, it's been 8 years. What would I even say to her?" "I'm sorry" is always a good place to start, Israel said with a smile. "I messed up usually works well too. At least it always did with my girl." "You've got a girl back home?" Chance was surprised he didn't know this, though Israel didn't often share about his past, only pieces here and there. "No, I did, but like you, we broke it off before I joined. I wanted her to be free to find happiness while I was gone, but we were together a few years before we split." "It's never easy, is it?" Israel didn't get a chance to answer because their squad leader burst through the door at that moment. "Gear up, boys. It's our turn to patrol." Chance tucked the picture back in his wallet before returning it to the small nightstand. He didn't need the wallet where he was going, and he never carried personal information on him when they went on patrol. No one in their unit had been captured yet, but it was drilled in their heads to never carry personal information around with them. Pictures, names, and addresses could all be used against a soldier, and dog tags served as ID enough. He grabbed his jacket off the hook on his bunk. Full uniform was required, even if they were just sitting around the barracks, and followed Israel out the door. 10 minutes later, they were inside the armored tank and heading out of the relative safety of the compound. Chance took a deep breath to try and calm his rapidly beating heart. Though he knew they were necessary, patrols always made him nervous. Too many things could go wrong on patrols. Enemies could fire at them, children could run too close to the tank, and IEDs were always an issue. He'd lost too many friends to the buried dangers that were never seen until they exploded. Before he had finished calming his breathing down, a loud bang filled the air. Though the ringing in his ears blocked any other sounds, his eyes managed to find Israel's and see the fear he felt mirrored in his friend's gaze before gravity seemed to shift on him. His body flew out of his seat, and stars clouded his vision as his head rammed into the ceiling. Pain flooded his senses before the world began to gray. The last thing that registered before he lost consciousness was the smell of gasoline.
to keep listening to this audiobook. I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.